Race 5 out of the KBRC is the Lorna Sharp First National Kalgoorlie Handicap over 1,300 metres for the Class 2 Brigade. The first horse we'll preview is our favourite, the 1 Lieutenant Dunbar for George Dupre and Jarrod Noske.
Very well supported and understandably so. Bounces straight to the front in my eyes, and his Class 3 Metro form is better than the Class 2 Country Company.
The 2 Rywood is first up for Peter Fernie and Michael Poy.
Big unknown here. You'd have to watch the market. If the market is very keen on this horse, then you take full of respect. If the market is very easy, then you're probably looking to bet around her because her 2 wins are very impressive, but they're also over further.
4 Aiden's Choice is the next horse we'll preview, Gary Bowen and Jay McNaught.
Who was a maiden winner here only about 3 or 4 starts ago. Since then, it's been very consistent, very honest, but I think there's a couple that are sharper.
5 Sendham, Peter Fernie and Braden Garth.
Been up here all season, has run some really nice races, but from the wide draw going to concede them a big head start, and a big head start to a couple of pretty handy ones.
6 Witch Street, Ashley Grace and Lakdara Molly.
Hasn't this been a nice find for Ash Grace's yard? A winner 2 starts ago, placed last start. The big danger, I would have thought, to the favourite.
7 Moonlight River, Brian Allen and Joey Azzopardi.
Maiden winner here a few starts ago. Very honest, very consistent type. Likely to roll forward from the awkward draw and put a bit of speed into the race.
8 Pacific Lady, Dan and Ben Pearce. Clint Johnston Porter rides.
Well, speaking of putting some speed into the race, she really only knows one way, but at this stage she's got no stamina.
And the next horse we'll go to is the 9 No More Dust, Paul Tapper and Christy Bennett.
Who is probably going to need the run here. I imagine looking for further and looking for a little bit easier.
And 10 Saturnina for Patrick Birmingham and Cassie Martin.
Well, you could imagine this mare probably winning the race at 50 to 1, but you could also imagine her running last. Very, very much hit and miss.
How did you order the 4?
It's a very good question, Lockie. I went on top here with Lieutenant Dunbar on top. I thought it was a really good opportunity for Jarrod Noske to bounce out of the gates, take control of the race, and then kick hard into the corner here, as he did last start in a Class 3 at Belmont, but this is only a Class 2 at Kalgoorlie. 1 on top for me from 2 Rywood. Big unknown here, this mare. Big watch on the market to see what they do with Michael Poy. Peter Fernie first up, no trial. Then I went to number 6 in Witch Street, who's likely to get back but run on. And 4 Aiden's Choice, who's pretty consistent. 1, 2, 6 and 4.
1 Lieutenant Dunbar on top for Scott at around the $2.50 quote ahead of race number 5.
Now runners for the Lorna Sharp First National Kalgoorlie Handicap are leaving the enclosure. Rider of Sendham, Braden Garth, is sporting a black cap. Hear My Prayer is the 1 scratching, and they'll jump at 2.20. Lieutenant Dunbar, 2.60. Popular Tab Touch favourite ahead of Witch Street, 3.50. Rywood at its first run for the Kambana Lodge team this afternoon at $5.50. And Aiden's Choice 10, 11 Pacific Lady and 12 Moonlight River. Now they start loading these runners up into the gates. Moving forward, race 5. Lorna Sharp First National, Kalgoorlie Handicap. Pacific Lady from the yard of Dan and Ben Pearce and Wych Street. Both moving along, and here's the favourite, Lieutenant Dunbar. Making its way there with Sendham. In goes Sendham. And so we wait now for Rywood, formerly with the Durant stable, and Peter's Investments now with owner Andrew Ingalls and trainer Pete Fernie. Aiden's Choice taken in hand. Carries the same colours as the star mare Baby Paris down in Perth with Cole Webster, owned by Gary Bowen. Now moving forward, Rywood, and the last to come forward is Moonlight River. So they're almost set. Red lights are now appearing. Neville Sly here across at the ladder. As Moonlight River goes up, seeks its stall, has been loaded. Set now. Racing. Good line. Rywood beaten for early speed. Dropping back with Satnina. Pacific Lady, Lieutenant Dunbar first to go. Pacific Lady's going to hold the favourite though. Moonlight River's up running third. No More Dust closely followed over on the outside by Rywood, quickly picking up ground. Aiden's Choice behind those. Then Wych Street, Satnina, and dropping out last is Sendham. Pacific Lady held the front when they'd left the back. Going up to the top of the track here at the 850. Pacific Lady 3/4 over Lieutenant Dunbar. Over on the outside of them, sneaking forward now, Moonlight River, 3 deep on the course. No More Dust is next down on the inside, just in front of Rywood as they work along the side at the 550. Followed further back Aiden's Choice, and then came Wych Street, who's back between Satnina and Sendham. A compact field, 400 from home. Pacific Lady just in front. Noske's now starting to work upon the favourite, Lieutenant Dunbar. It's Pacific Lady, a half to 3/4 Lieutenant Dunbar. He hasn't called upon him just yet. 2 lengths, No More Dust, followed by Rywood. Satnina down near the inside as Noske goes to work. He draws the shillelagh, 150 to go on Lieutenant Dunbar. No More Dust, Rywood. Wych Street further back, but Lieutenant Dunbar's in front. Rywood trying to peg back the margin. Too late. Lieutenant Dunbar just held Rywood very strong at the finish. Went Wych Street down the outside, looked to have grabbed third from No More Dust and Satnina. In behind them on the rails, next Pacific Lady, followed by Moonlight River. Aiden's Choice back there with those, and also towards the tail is Sendham. Standing by for the full placings, the interim numbers here after the 5th in Cal, 1, 2, 6 and 9. 1, 2, 6, 9 official numbers in 1:18.60, and the favourite prevails. Lieutenant Dunbar couldn't cross Pacific Lady. Did it from the breeze. Noske had to bide and just nurse under the 60, then let him go. And Rywood was in pursuit late. Took a step backwards at the start, improved to be midfield, and then really got busy in the last 50, screaming out for more ground, but held by Lieutenant Dunbar, who's been racing in very good and consistent form. And the dissonant gelding makes it win 2 from 11. Prepared by George Dupre, ridden by Jarrod Noske, over Rywood by Redwood from Rock on Rye. First run for trainer Peter Fernie, ridden by Michael Poy. And Wych Street, who got back running on strongly late by Street Boss out of Witchy Ways, trained by Ash Grace, ridden by Lachnar Romilly. 4th home 9, No More Dust, and 5th in number 10, Satnina. A long head by 3/4 official margins, and the last 600, 34.77, with Lieutenant Dunbar now the winner of 2, placed on 6 occasions from his 11 starts. By Dissident out of Longing for Ardrage, Ms. S. Bevan, Mesdames Roberts, Willis, Swan, Brody, Watson, Chambers, Bennett, Holly, and also Dupre, and ridden by Jarrod Noske for trainer George Dupre. The next event, race 6, the statewide oil handicap over 1,300 metres. They'll jump at 3 o'clock. Lucy Fiore rides 9. Beautiful Baroque in the next event of the day. Riders still to come for Sean O'Donnell, who's out for the remainder of the day. Please note, Sean O'Donnell not riding for the remainder here this afternoon.
Dupre, winning trainer of Lieutenant Dunbar, is on the strapping duties, so we won't get to grab a word with him, but I was just speaking to him off air before he went and grabbed his steed, and he was very happy with the win. Obviously, Jarrod Noske was able to settle outside the leader in the early stages of the race and settle outside Pacific Lady. From there, Jarrod Noske controlled the tempo of the race and looked like he had a lap full of horse underneath him. George was just saying that perhaps he didn't find as much as he thought he would when Jarrod Noske asked him for the ultimate effort, but in the end was strong enough to hold off a flying Ryewood late. The numbers out of race number 5 at the KBRC are 1, 2, 6 and 9.